Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know this video is long overdue and I said I was going to do it a long time ago and I never really got to it. I just feel like I've been kind of taking everything in and taking the moments in and really self-reflecting and trying to get through this. I know it's definitely not easy on my mental health. Um, so I've just been trying to deal with all that, and I've been crazy busy with the baby, and now he is crawling and getting into everything. So it's definitely a lot more challenging to get things done nowadays. But I did say I was going to keep you guys updated, and I definitely have not been doing that, so I apologize for that. All right, so I am officially done with all my treatments. So my treatments included chemo, 16 rounds of chemo, and then I had surgery, and then I had 20 rounds of radiation. So I am completely done with everything. I will be getting my port removed next Friday, and that's kind of the last step. I still have my port in. They just wanted to keep it in case of any emergencies were to happen. It would be just easy access for an IV. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am done. My port being removed will be the last step of everything, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Excuse me. I'm so happy that I'm done. That I'm done with the constant doctor's appointments as well. I will be checking in with all my doctors in a few months. I just checked in with my oncologist last week, and so far everything is good. So I had originally was going to film a whole update and like this. I was going to let you guys know how surgery went, what my experience was with everything, and radiation and all that. But I did end up filming something a week after surgery, and I was going to refilm it today, but I figured why refilm it and why do it like this, and why not show you guys the raw, unedited, no makeup on, no filter, nothing. And let you guys know how I was honestly feeling, how I was honestly looking. I felt like I was still super bloated from surgery. So you'll see my face looks even a little chubbier. I obviously have no makeup on. And yeah, you'll definitely get a sense of how I was feeling based on that video. So I'll show that clip, and then I will let you guys know keep you updated on the rest, let you know how radiation went and everything like that. So I'll go ahead and show that clip now. Hey guys, so I know I've been MIA lately and not really posting on social media, and when I do, it's been on my story and really only the baby, but I do have quite a few updates and have had a lot going on, so I've just been kind of taking a break and resting and working on getting better. So yeah, obviously the first update is you guys see my hair. I finally had to buzz my hair off, and yeah, I mean, I'm happy to say, at least with the cold capping, that there was never once where I was completely bald. I did have hair throughout the whole entire time, and at the end of treatment, it was just I needed to buzz it so it all goes back evenly, just because I had so many patches that were like, some were long, some my hair was already like barely growing in, just because I did have some bald spots. So yeah, but this is where my big bald spot was, all right here in this area. And the hair has come in. It's still a little light right there compared to the rest of my head and right here. But yeah, hair has been growing back. So that makes me super excited. So over my ears on this side still needs to grow in a little bit more. But yeah, my boyfriend went ahead and buzzed it off for me, so I'm happy to say that I was never bald. Another update was I had surgery. So, yeah, I had surgery last Friday, so tomorrow will be a week. And I've just been recovering from that. Thank you for everyone that has texted me, that has checked in on me. I truly appreciate it. And I felt like I just kind of needed a break from everything. I felt like emotionally and mentally, things were starting to kind of catch up to me, and I kind of found myself feeling sad for no real reason, I guess you could say. You know, nothing that happened that made me feel sad. It was just that all of a sudden, like, I would feel sad. So yeah, I knew I needed kind of like a little mental break, kind of figure it out and everything. Recovery physically has been pretty easy for me. I mean, you can see I'm still wearing the bra that they give me. I have to keep that on 24/7. The only time I could take it off is when I shower and to wash it. And I'm still not supposed to be doing anything very rigorous. But I have to say the thing that's been hardest on me is not being able to hold my son and not really being involved in his care has been getting to me, and it's been super hard on me. And yeah, I think that's definitely been the hardest part, and the pain has been tolerable. Even I think it was just bad maybe like the first 2 days, and even when I say bad, it still wasn't even like excruciating pain, so it wasn't completely horrible, it wasn't completely bad. So for those of you that did not know, and I think it's only because I told a few people, I had a lumpectomy with reconstruction to both breasts to even them out. And yeah, the pathology results came back great. There was no cancer residue and the tumor that they removed. My lymph nodes came back clear. So that was just all amazing news and exciting news. But I could only be, I guess, a certain amount of excited about it just because it has been a little hard for me. Even the days leading up to surgery have been a little hard for me. I had about like one meltdown, and it literally all stemmed from, well, it stemmed from obviously something deeper, but it started with, I've been having side effects after chemo, one of them being my nails. You could kind of see they're turning color, and they're just, not healthy right now. And there was one where like I got a blister under, or like a little hematoma under it, so there's blood trapped under it, and it just got like a huge blister, and it was painful. And then the fact that I knew I was more than likely going to lose that nail, that's when I kind of lost it. Like I broke down, and it was just like I was just at a point where I just wanted everything to be done with, I didn't want to be dealing with cancer anymore, and that's the reality of it. And I feel like I hear from so many girls my age and a lot of the girls that I started following, and we were all kind of on this journey together. It's so weird that like I started following like about 4 or 5 girls, and we all finished treatment within
a week of each other, a month of each other, and then we all had surgery kind of around the same time. And I hear from them too that sometimes they just need a break, to not talk about cancer, to not think about cancer. I mean, obviously it's always going to be on the back of our minds, right? Like, always. That's going to always be my number one fear, is reoccurrence. But sometimes I just want it to be done, and I don't want to think about cancer, and I don't want to think about the what ifs, and I don't want to talk about cancer, and I just want to forget it, and I had one of those days where it was just really hard for me, and I was in bed and my boyfriend had asked me a question, and I answered it. He could tell that something was wrong with me, and he asked me what's wrong, and I just kind of broke down, and I was like, I just want to be done with all of this. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be sick. I just don't want cancer anymore, and that was hard. And it was a few days before my surgery, and he just reminded me that LA surgery is one step closer to being done with cancer, or not ever. I won't ever officially be done with cancer, but I'm one step closer to some type of normalcy in my life. I guess I could word it right. So I had my cry, and he held me, and of course made me feel better, told me everything, at the end of the day, everything will be okay. And I think that was just something that I really needed, was a little cry, a little vent session, and someone to remind me that I don't always have to be strong about everything, and I don't always have to be happy about everything and smiling, and that it's okay for me to cry once in a while. I don't always have to be so strong-willed about it. So I think it was just exactly what I needed, and then the next day I was ready to get up and deal with cancer again, So yeah, that was pretty much my update on surgery. After surgery, I have to say, healing post-surgery, everything has been really well for me. I got my drains removed within a week. The only thing that happened, I guess you could say, is that I had some spitting sutures. So my body was rejecting a few of the sutures. They weren't absorbing like they should have. So my body was pushing them out. But that's a quick fix. They just pull it right on out, and that's it. So other than that, I've healed really well. And then a little after a month, actually, maybe 6 weeks after surgery, that's when I started radiation. So what I did was 16 rounds of full breast radiation, and then I did 4 rounds of targeted radiation. And those 4 rounds were targeted directly to where the tumor was. And I have to say, radiation was probably it was so easy compared to everything else. It really was so easy. I just would go in, my appointments were 15 minutes long. And then my targeted therapy, it would take me longer to wait on them than the whole actual radiation part would be. So that brings me to my first question, which is, how is my skin reacting with radiation? Or at the time I was going through radiation, so how was it reacting to radiation? My skin, for the most part, I didn't start seeing any changes until about maybe a week, 2 weeks after I started radiation, is when I really started to notice the big change. And it started with reddening of my skin, and since then it's gotten a little dark, so I do have some darkening, but this is the cream that I used. I use it morning and night, and I have to say I think it definitely helped. I do have skin darkening, but it's not as dark as I've seen on other people, so I feel like it did help with me. So yeah, other than that, I get really itchy, but it's not irritated. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. So I have to say my skin has tolerated pretty well, which I'm happy about. All right, so the next question is, what part of the whole process was the most challenging? And that's like a hard question, to be honest, because let's face it, the whole process is challenging. But I have to say the most challenging was my first 4 rounds of chemo. That made me feel horrible. It made me feel like the worst I've ever felt. It was just bad. So I have to say that was probably the most challenging part, other than probably not being able to hold my son after surgery. I feel like that made me get a little depressed, just not being able to hold him and carry him and care for him. So I would have to say that was the most challenging. It's between those two. I also got, I would have to say thank you to you guys, because I had a lot of people not ask me questions, but messaging me, telling me how much they admire me, how strong I am, and just really nice messages. And I have to say thank you guys so much. I did reply to those right away, and thank you guys. I wouldn't say I was super strong. I might come off like I was handling everything really well, but of course, behind closed doors, you don't always know how people are doing. For the most part, I will say that I did handle everything pretty well, but I definitely had my moments where I broke down and cried and really just kind of questioned why me and why I was going through this, and especially during this time of my life. And yeah, so I definitely was not as strong as I always showed, or came off. So, but regardless, thank you guys so much for being so nice and all the kind words, and always being encouraging too. That really helped. Another question was, well, I guess that's kind of the same thing. Along with parenting, how do you manage to do everything with so much grit and grace? Which I'm flattered that I come off graceful. I definitely am not. Again, whatever you guys see on social media isn't always the case. On Instagram, I do post only 90%, like all the good that comes with everything. I definitely don't show, and I didn't show the times that I was crying, all the hair that I lost, and just how day to day, like I was so tired all the time, and I'm still super tired. So that's been a struggle, but I definitely don't show everything, but thank you. Another question was, how has my journey been, on everyone, how the whole process on myself? Obviously it's hard. Obviously I question everything. It's almost like you go through the stages of grief, right? You're in shock. You're mad. You're sad. You just have so many emotions. And this is talking about myself. I had so many emotions. It was almost like a roller coaster of emotions. And when people heard of everything that I had been through within a year, it's just a lot of trauma within a year, and that most people see over a span of few years, and I got hit with everything all at once. So it definitely, a lot of people were saying that it's like I was in fight mode, right? And I just kept saying, yeah, definitely, but I feel like it didn't resonate with me until after all of this was done. And probably more towards when I filmed that video, right? Where like it started to really hit me that, wow, I just went through all of this and my body has been through so much, not even within a year. So it was a lot, and it definitely was hard on me at times, and I definitely had my breakdowns, my meltdowns, and I'm just grateful for those that were there for me, those that even traveled to come see me, to spend time with me, just to get me through some hard times. Another question was, and I got a few of these, was how my son dealt with everything. So my son is going to be 11 in August. And how did he deal with everything? I felt like when I told him and I explained things to him, if you know him, he's just like such a nonchalant kid. Like he just goes with the flow, like doesn't really care about things. He's super mellow, super chill. So when I explained this to him, I tried to prepare him for things that he might see, but not scare him. And of course, if he had any questions, he knew he could always ask me, let me know, whatever the case may be. But what really helped, I think, was I didn't have him. He went with his dad on the days that I had chemo on when I was getting treatment. And he would be over there for 3 to 4 days. So he never really saw me sick. Like he never saw me laid out on the couch. Or like when I completely just was not feeling well at all. So he never really got to see that. Also, when he was with me, I definitely tried to be more energetic, more to kind of just show him that like I wasn't necessarily sick. Because that's what he kind of was not understanding, right? Like you're sick, but you don't necessarily look sick. I definitely prepared him for me losing hair. So I think he was well prepared for that. He only mentioned something about my hair, maybe like once. But yeah, I mean, he's such a chill kid that like he just went with the flow with everything. But definitely checking in on him to make sure he was handling everything okay. I'm not quite sure how much of it that he really understood. So I definitely just wanted to make sure he was okay throughout everything. For my boyfriend, I feel like he tolerated everything so good. And I have to say thank you to him because he was amazing throughout everything. He definitely stepped up and helped with everything. He was the one picking up the house. He was the one, doing whatever he could just to help me out and make me feel good. I think there was just like one time where like he had a really hard time with it, and it's because I think he saw me struggling so much was when my hair was falling out, and I had just gotten out of the shower and I was brushing my hair, and just chunks and chunks of hair were just falling out, and it wouldn't stop. Like it just kept coming and coming and coming out, and God, I get emotional just thinking back to it. But that night was a really hard night, and that's probably the only time I felt like he really struggled with everything, just because
he saw me hurting so much. But I definitely have to say he's been awesome. He's my rock. I don't know what I would have done without him during this process. So huge shout out to him. On my family, I feel like we're not the type of family to really talk about our feelings or talk about, you know, what's going on, how we're feeling. So I think everyone handled it for the most part pretty good. I'm sure it was hard on my mom and my brothers, just especially because, again, it's just been so much, so fast that has happened to us. And it's been one thing after another, and it just still has not stopped. So I'm sure it was difficult for them. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're family. We're there for each other. They checked in on me constantly, and I'm so grateful to have them, and to my extended family as well. My aunts, my cousins, who always offer to, you know, pick me up, take me to appointments, and drive me home, you know, cook for me if they, you know, if needed. Whatever it was, my family really stepped up to help me, and I just can't thank them enough for everything. You know, even taking care of the baby. Everyone, of course, is always happy to take care of the baby. So yeah, I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy that all of this is done. For the time being, I know I'm never really going to be done with cancer, and I'm constantly going to have to be going to doctor's appointments, you know, and doing checkups. But for the time now, I'm happy to say I'm cancer free. And yeah, I'm just really excited and try to get back to a good place in my life. I'm going to start trying to work out and get in shape again. And I'm trying to make healthier choices for myself. I don't necessarily still have the energy to start working out, but I'm going to try to start pushing myself to do it. And yeah, I just have to say thank you to everybody that's been there for me, that's checked up on me. So yeah, I hope my videos can help somebody. And if they do, then all of this was worth it. I do have a few people that are starting treatment that follow me. So of course, if you guys have any questions, always reach out to me. I am always here. All right, guys, so I'm going to close out the video here. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, share. All right, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.